Susie was a walking contradiction in yoga pants, with a mouth faster than her morning coffee maker and an attitude that could flatten a small village. She made life look like a perpetual improv show. By day, she was the head of vibes and marketing. Translation: she spun chaos into Instagrammable wisdom, while dodging passive aggressive Slack messages. When the CEO, a woman named Kendra, with the emotional range of an espresso machine, announced a mandatory digital detox weekend retreat for the team, Susie laughed so hard she spilled her turmeric latte on her cat. She lived online. Her presence was the three C's: curated, chaotic, and cathartic. Going off grid for a weekend with coworkers she low key despised. It sounded like psychological warfare. But when the company's therapist on retainer gently hinted that Susie had been showcasing, quote, early signs of burnout, she didn't protest. Mostly because she accidentally wrote and published a 37 slide deck titled Burnout and Branding. Are you even crying right? Well, the writing part wasn't accidental, but the publishing, that part was most definitely. So she packed a weekender bag full of mismatched leggings, a battery powered aromatherapy diffuser shaped like the cutest frog you could ever imagine, and boarded the shuttle with six coworkers and one wildly overzealous mindfulness instructor named Jade. The retreat center looked like a luxury Pinterest board vomited into the Texas Hill Country. There were alpacas, hammocks, and communal meals served by a chef who introduced himself only as Greg. Gregh. The first hour wasn't terrible. There was fresh watermelon water and a journaling prompt titled, What Would Calm You Say to Chaos? By the second hour, Susie had written a haiku about rage quitting life to become a barnacle. Jade's guided meditation featured phrases like inhale the universe, which Susie mentally translated to inhale your corporate despair. By the end of day one, she was vibrating from withdrawal. TikTok, email, memes, Spotify playlist titled Scream into the Void Gently. At dinner, Kendra asked everyone to share their intention for the weekend. Susie's turn. My intention, she said, stabbing her quinoa with the theatrical flair, of course, is to survive without punching anyone in their aura. Jade nodded like this was extremely valid spiritual work. But things didn't slide fully off the rails until day two, the silence exercise. 12 hours of no talking, no phones, and no written communication. Embrace your inner stillness, Jade whispered. Instead, Susie's inner monologue became a stand up comedy roast. She paced the meditation trail like a caffeinated squirrel, crafting imaginary tweets in her head. Currently in a live action anxiety trap with alpacas and hummus. Oh, send help. Around 4 p.m., she cracked. She fled into the woods, holding her aromatherapy frog like a talisman. Her coworkers, silent and blinking, watched her disappear between two mossy oaks like some kind of unhinged woodland spirit. Some people hit rock bottom in a therapist office or over a bowl of ice cream. Susie hit hers in front of a tree that actually looked like it could offer surprisingly sound advice. She stood there, fists clenched, eyes wild. Why am I even here? A literally brand serenity. I meme for mental health. I schedule inspirational quotes at 5:12 a.m. so people think I'm awake and evolved. She glared at the tree. It didn't respond. Rude. I don't want to be soft and silent and full of sunshine, okay? I like to rage. I like the mess. I am the mess. The tree, stoic and entirely uninterested, remained unfazed. Susie sat down, drained. Somewhere between a squirrel chasing its tail and the wind rustling through the leaves, her mind, traitor that it was, slowed. Just a little. She wasn't fine. Not even close. She was tired, brittle in the bones, crumbling behind a screen of curated chaos. The sarcasm, the enthusiasm, it had all become armor. And armor's heavy when you wear it 24/7. In the quiet of the forest, Susie let herself exhale. Not a performative sigh, a real one. When she emerged from the woods, she was covered in dirt, leaves, and the faint smell of lavender from her frog diffuser. Jade saw her and whispered reverently to Kendra, "She's had a breakthrough." "I had a breakdown," Susie corrected, brushing twigs out of her bun. "They're cousins." But she sat down through the rest of the retreat. She didn't speak until the silence ended. Then she said, "I think I've been hiding behind noise and memes and vibes. Maybe I can be real and ridiculous. And maybe, just maybe, she didn't need to be the burnout beacon for the entire internet anymore." Back at work, she deleted half of her scheduled apps. She pitched a campaign called Rest is Resistance, but Make It Fashion. She didn't answer DMs after 9 p.m. unless they involved dogs in costumes or deeply specific compliments. And when people asked what happened at the retreat, she just smirked. "I found enlightenment under a tree. We're on casual texting terms now."